feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
He literally said the game was saying he couldn't get the dude on the phone. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put it up there again. And, you know, these West Coast guys, you know, I get it. It's a lot of gang culture out there. So, you know, they all want to keep the peace. But that's why I got to thank to Stat Quo. He kind of woke it up. Like, yo, it's not all peace over here. They're all begging at the feet of Kendrick Lamar, the only guy with clout. And it's crazy. I love you guys on the West Coast. But y'all got zero motion. Like, there's nothing going on over there. It's a bunch of floppers. Like, y'all are all flopping. Like, there's nothing going on but Kendrick. Yo, put it like this. The hottest thing after Kendrick on the West Coast right now is an AI song. Let's think about that one. It's not thriving. Okay? Watch the party die. He watched the coast die. That's what happened. Atlanta's, you know, they're kind of up and down. You know, Florida going to be Florida. You know, drill going to be drill in Chicago. You know, New York is always bouncing around, right? But when it comes to the West Coast, dead. And they don't want to admit that. Completely dead. It was interesting. Everybody was having this hoorah about Game and YG doing the verses. YG can't sell 20K. YG got more buzz for a murder than he got for music. I'm sorry to say it, but somebody got to say it. Watch the party die. We watched his coast die. At least when the coast was dead, Game threw that bitch on his back. Carried it for a while. Try to help other artists. Black Wall Street. Try to grab this guy, that guy. Kendrick comes through TDE, gets mad at the contract. He didn't like that slave contract that Top put him in. Got you. He got out of there, made PG Lang. He gets the Infinity Stones. He's now the Black Messiah. He does good in the B versus Drake. He disappears. No help, no tweets, no nothing. To put it in perspective, and people might think this is completely normal, he spoke up more for a Florida artist back in the day. By the way, he should have. You know, I actually give him credit for that. XXXTentacion, when you know, he was going through stuff, he gave him more of a cosign, and even Kodak gave more of a cosign than he's ever given any of these other artists in L.A. L.A. rap is dead. We got to be honest. It's dead. I'm like, again, I'm not on the West Coast, but who's popping? There's nobody on the West Coast. Well, you know, they're going to tell me Tyler, the Creator. It's like, come on, bro. What about Tyler? What about Doja Cat? You know what I'm talking about, right? Let's not mince words here. You know what I'm talking about. We're talking about that circuit that kind of supports each other where, like, you know, like, think about the Atlanta circuit. Like, the collaborations is very important. Anyway, I digress. I do want to just stick on this one point. And as much as everyone wants to, like, whitewash it and just kind of, like, be like, no, there's no problem. Because, you know, now they're trying to, like, write the narrative that Akademiks is trying to start beef. Does this sound like someone who is, like, very happy with Kendrick Lamar? This is the Game's words to Stat Quo after Stat Quo got checked by Top Dog on a live. So the Game calls Stat Quo, and this is the conversation being reiterated by Stat Quo. Listen to this.
You know, Dot don't get on the phone with everybody, my nigga. He don't talk to niggas. This what y'all got to
That's a flex.
Understand about Kendrick Lamar. He just not talking to everybody. He talked to Glasses. He's a very few small people that he'll get on the phone with. I think that was another thing that Game had an issue with.
Let's stop it right there. I know you guys on the West Coast, I get it, blood in, blood out, Crip up, all that type of stuff. I get it. No disrespect to y'all gangs. Keep doing your thing. But we could understand clear context. The way this was said, Kendrick doesn't get on the phone with niggas. And then that's the Game's problem. We're not talking about some blogger trying to, like, get a confirmation from Kendrick Lamar. We're not talking about some podcast or some media member. We're not even talking about, like, some fucking new rapper who's trying to get him on a verse. We're talking about someone who he should have ultimate respect for because that person helped pave the way for him. That nigga helped bring him in the game. We're not, and this is why I was saying JCon was kind of looking a little weird to me. And I love his music because I'm like, at some point you got to be able to tell when a nigga don't fuck with you. You're telling me Kendrick Lamar, who at one point probably answered your calls all the time, right? when it was time for y'all to do music or you give him a cosign, he was there all the time. But now he's gotten a place he don't talk to niggas. And now you're calling another man to complain that he won't answer your phone. This sounds like side chick behavior to me. But let's play it again. Maybe my ears is not helping.
He's a very few small people that he'll get on the phone with. I think that was another thing that Game had an issue with. He couldn't get Kendrick on the phone. And I'm trying to explain.
Okay, excuse me? Remember, they all claim there's no issue. But excuse me?
That he'll get on the phone with. I think that was another thing that Game had an issue with. He couldn't get Kendrick on the phone.
Now, I do know that there's a bunch of Kbots and people who are endearing to Kendrick. They're going to say, well, listen, that's Dot. We hear that a lot. That's Dot, which is, and one of the great things he does PR by not saying anything. I think lack of visibility, we almost start to think that Kendrick isn't online, like he doesn't see these conversations and he doesn't see what maybe other people feel about him. So when these things come up and he doesn't react, you're like, all right, well, if a tree falls in the woods and doesn't make a sound, did it happen, right? As opposed to like other artists, they're on social all the time and they kind of have to respond. And if they don't respond, we know there's something there, right? So Kendrick doesn't respond to anything. So because he doesn't respond to this, you can't be like, oh, this is a thing that shows that maybe he does feel away. Nevertheless, I guess we just give him a blanket pass for, in my opinion, odd behavior. I'm sorry. I don't think you get to a point in life or in music where you used to talk to people regularly or you used to have respect for them and be able to pick up their phone call like an average person. Have regular conversations like an average person. But now you're rocking iced out thorn and crowns. You're now comparing yourself to almost damn near like a deity. And now you're above talking to anybody, or at least your peers who used to be able to have some access to you. Okay? Now, I know people are going to defend it, whatever. But this is where you get to realize, and I really like that stat quote. I think you'd probably stop after that because it's getting way too much attention. But I'm glad that he finally brought, because I do it all the time. Shit, I'm going to bring the personal conversation I had with these rappers and I'm going to bring it online, nigga. Let's all talk. The fuck? Rappers don't do interviews anymore. So this is the only way we're going to get the content, right? Rappers don't do interviews. So the nigga who talks to the rapper, I talk to Drake. Drake ain't doing a fucking interview. All right, I told you what Drake said. Everybody talk about it. Like, yo, let's all eat. Fuck it. That's how it works, man. We don't give a fuck anymore. So the guy this is the first guy, and by the way, stat quote, did you notice how nervous he was yesterday when he was talking? And I asked him I said, well, you said Kendrick don't talk to anyone, but you're one of the few that do. He backtracked so much off it. I haven't talked to him in a long time. You could tell he knew his comments were at risk of probably getting cut from Kendrick's, like, he's going to be put on the D&D list. You get what I'm saying? You could tell. So, let's listen.
Very few small people that he'll get on the phone with. I think that was another thing that Game had an issue with. He couldn't get Kendrick on the phone.
Listen to this.
And I'm trying to explain. Like, man, why won't he just talk to me?
Thank you. Imagine, and this is where I say Stat Quo owes Jayceon an apology. And really, bloggers like me, Flocko, and a few others, it feels like we're sticking up for the game. It's not even kicking Kendrick's back, and it's nothing with Kendrick and Drake. It's like a human thing, honestly. It's a human thing. It's like a respect thing. It's like, yo, dude, like, yo, do you really think this highly of yourself where, like, niggas who you used to look up to are begging to even, like, have a civil conversation with you? But you could tell, as much as the game disguises it, Stat Quo just gave us the key. You have the game on the phone with him, like, upset. Like, bro, that sounds like, you ever seen an emotional girl? Why won't he get on the phone with me? Like, come on. Like, you have another gangster rapper from your same neighborhood that emotional, begging for a phone call, and you want us to think that, oh, nah, y'all just don't talk. Wait, nigga, you don't like that nigga. So we're going to call it, you don't like that nigga. And now the idea of trying to understand fully why he don't like the game, we probably shouldn't even try to understand it. Because did we understand why he ain't really like Drake? No. He just told us he's the biggest hater. So we don't know why. He might not really rock with the game. Obviously, we do know a few things, right? We hear about a video shoot. Suppose he zipped up some hoodie, like they felt that was disrespectful, and then they what else? And the 100 video shoot, which he brought the game. He brought Drake through, but I and others felt bad for Jayceon. Jayceon's the game, by the way. We felt bad for him because as a gangster rapper who's always came off as, you know, this super blood, like all this bravado, like he's like a macho MC. That's how I've always looked at the game. To hear Stat Quo describe a conversation where the game is emotionally begging, why won't he get on the phone with me? What? That's pathetic. We got to call it out. That's fucking pathetic. Now, me, I take the version of saying the game. You need to, like, Kendrick's going to be himself. I do think it's kind of weird that Kendrick won't talk to you like a man or a human. Like, what does he think he is, God? But whatever, cool, whatever. But the game, you got to stop begging for this conversation 10 years later. Like, we're not talking about, like, 6 months or, like, a couple of months. Like, brother, it's like 10 years. Like, at what point, if you haven't talked to a man on the phone or you can't get him on the phone for 10 years, you're still saying you want a conversation? Nigga, fuck that conversation. Let's be honest. But let me keep playing because I want to show you, and this is where I said Stat Quo probably owes the game an apology because they all coddle Kendrick. And they don't say, oh, nah, Kendrick's being weird. He just won't talk to him. He's talking to other niggas about him, but he won't talk to him. He's telling other niggas the reason. He just won't talk to him. But you get on a podcast and you make the game sound like a peon and a loser and a weirdo side chick. He sounds weird doing this. Why won't he get on? That sounds weird. Sounds weird.
He couldn't get Kendrick on the phone. And I'm trying to explain. He's like, man, why won't he just talk to me? You know, I'm just like,
why won't he just talk to me? He's crazy. Why won't he just talk to me? Is crazy.
My nigga, like, hey, man. And I'm explaining to this nigga, everybody ain't the same. I remember having a conversation with Kendrick about that phone.
And exactly. So that's the interesting part about it. He juxtaposed that, the game being so frustrated and damn near crying about not getting a conversation with Kendrick, right? To basically saying he talked to Kendrick, not necessarily about that, about the game crying and waddling, but he talked to Kendrick about how he treats these other niggas.
And just talking. He's like, that's his vice. Because we were just talking about vices one day. And his vice is being away, like being able to cut things off and cut the world off and no one be able to touch him. Like some people's vice is shopping. He enjoys the fact that niggas just can't get to him.
They won't ask.
That also was a little bit alarming. Kendrick enjoys the fact that all these niggas are dying to talk to him. They look up to him. They put him on the mountain. They literally are calling him like the Jesus of the West Coast. And he doesn't talk to none of them. They want access. He doesn't give it. A gracious king treats his constituents like shit. I like it.
Access, and he'd be like, "Yeah."
They want the access, and he enjoys. Dog, we all.
That doesn't sound weird. He enjoys that he limits access to the people who all support him. Right? You don't think that's some fuck nigga shit? You can't get access to him, but when it's time to shoot the Not Like Us video and he needs you to come crip walk in there and do all that shit, he hits you up. He hits you up from a no caller ID number. You can't even call his ass back. First time he hits you up, you got to do something for him. You can't ask for no favor back. That's some West Coast friendship right there. Somebody says, you're just talking with no proof to spit in the air, hoping that it hits someone. We're going off the... That's what I'm saying. Stat Quo did us all a favor. He's telling us these people's conversation. We're interpreting the conversation. That's it. We're not coming with no new details. We have no new details. Stat Quo spoke with the game, and he's also mentioning things in the past about how he spoke with Kendrick. And he says Kendrick's demeanor is that he likes to starve the people who want access to him the most, which is most likely other rappers, other producers, and other people on his coast. He treats them like peons. Don't get that nigga my yo. You know that one person you don't want him to have your number. You be like, take my Instagram. It's like when a bitch tell a nigga, when you know a nigga trying to bag a bitch. Yo, can I get your number? You can take my Instagram. 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 That's it. I don't want. We gotta limit the access. We gotta limit the access. Somebody says the game cries a lot. Okay, that is true too. I'm not sitting here. Listen. We don't know actually Kendrick's real feelings. We don't know if there's other things. We're just going off what Stat Quo said. That's why I said Stat Quo and his bringing to the public, I could tell he's more in the camp of trying to make Dot and TDE feel good about it because everything he said made the game look like a sucker. I'm sorry to say it. It made the game look like a long inside chick. Like, yo, when is it my turn? You said it was Saturdays. No, you ain't seen me the last 2 Saturdays. Like, nah, fuck, nigga, wait your turn. Like, it's going to be next Saturday. Catch you on the next one. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of what it's coming across. And I just thought, I didn't think that people were going to co-sign that. However, with Kendrick, people rewrite the rules. Now, we've seen some of these TDE guys. They've kind of also, it looked like, you know, they don't fuck with the game either, man. Was it TDE Keemstar or something like that? TDE Keemstar. Look, all right, listen. Okay, so here we go. So now the TDE guys, they're mad at Stat Quo for doing what, you know, and this is why LA podcasters and LA shit can't really go too far. Y'all too much ganged up, my nigga. Like, bad enough these rappers don't do interviews and shit. Like, they act like it's a secret society. My nigga, if Drake tells me, Adam, whoever he talks to, Mealy Mall, some shit, we're bringing it to the net, my nigga. Well, not like on some snitching shit. It's just like, dog, we could tell you, like, because we have a relationship with these people. They treat, like, Kendrick like no one should ever talk about him, right? So, this TDE Keem dude, like, I think he carries the bags for, like, TDE and shit. He spoke on Stat Quo revealing that the game, you know, Stat Quo had revealed that the game, you know, had thought that Not Like Us was a diss or something like that. And Keem is kind of, he's on some shit like, wait, why are we talking about the King Dot? Like, none of his convos, why are we talking about it? So they're mad at Stat Quo. Because remember, King Kendrick cannot be criticized, should not be discussed, and his name should not be besmirched. Listen to this.
This shit, hey, you got to react to this tonight, though, today. Me, our dog, Stat Quo, he gave us the truth that we've been waiting for. Kane, what's happening, bro? Salute to you, King. What's the word? I appreciate it, bro. Ain't nothing to worry, man. We on this nigga the game right now, man. Lying ass. Lying ass.
And that's another thing I was saying. So this guy is a TD, like, I don't know where he's in a TD ranks, right? Like, he might be the guy who watches the door. He might be the guy who crushes up the kush. He might be the guy who, like, you know what I mean, does the test lines of coke. I don't know what he does, okay? Some people told me he's like the brother of like Schoolboy Q. Somebody told me he's a manager. I'm like, who is he managing? Yo, if these guys are managers, we gotta start talking. Yo, other than SZA, ain't nobody selling no records over there. Like, who is he managing? Like, who is it? Who is these guys managing? Yo, he's managing a Twitch stream. That's about it, okay? Cut it out, all right? Cut it out, all right? Let's get straight to it. So, Mr. TDE spokesman now tells us, right? He now tells us that, you know, he's telling us the real TDE feelings about the game. They start calling the game names. Liar. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, they start speaking negatively of the game. While every time the game is asked about Kendrick, oh, Kendrick's my brother, man. Like, yeah, man, like back in the day, like, he's always talking about Kendrick like they're long lost brothers, like Cain and Abel. Like, he's talking about Kendrick like, yo, Kendrick is the best thing since sliced bread. But when TDE now talks about the game, they describe him as exactly what you know Kendrick thinks about him. A fuck nigga. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that's what it is, but you got to imagine Kendrick won't answer his phone call, and the other TDE niggas are calling him everything but a great guy. Listen to what Mr. Blunt Roller for TDE says.
We on game, lying ass. This nigga been feeling away since the fucking song Not Like Us came out.
Oh, shit. The line-ass game. Holy.
When Not Like Us dropped, oh, this shit blowing me right now. When Not Like Us dropped the first day, just think about it for us, though. Like, our first day listening to it, we was on Apollo. Shout out Dizzle AD, pulled up on us on Apollo, legendary episode. Go back and watch it. In that same moment, Drake feeling how he feeling, right? Drake fans feeling how they feeling, right? Kendrick haters feeling how they feeling, right? And Kendrick supporters feeling how they feeling, right? Everybody, it's all good. But then you got that one nigga. He don't know if he love him. He don't know if he hate him. He don't know if he love him. He don't know if he hate. You know what I'm saying? He just over there fucked up like, why won't you call me, blood?
They're clowning the game for being a groupie. There's one nigga who's frustrated. Like, imagine talking about a guy who, granted, Kendrick's Kendrick, but this is why legacies get disrespected, right? When the game, like just imagine like this. Imagine, I don't know, some new rapper treated 50 Cent like this. You'd be like, what? What the fuck? Like a new rapper from New York treated 50 Cent like this. You'd be like, what? What the fuck is going on? Like, you see reverence. You don't see, and imagine the crew of that new rapper who got the wave at the moment. They're all laughing at 50, like, yeah, 50 a lame. Like, what? That's how they do the game. That's why the game's light, in terms of his legacy, look dim. It looks dim because his own coast, they're not even having, they got the reverence for Snoop Dogg. They got it for Ice Cube. But they're kind of looking at the game like, yo, man, who invited this nigga to the cookout? And why is he getting a plate? Yo, could somebody tell this nigga he gotta go? You don't see what's happening? The game is talking about Kendrick like he is the chosen one. He's King Kunta. He loves him. I actually have, to be honest, I really have this theory. I have a theory that because of how the game has been treated, I think that's why he's always gravitated towards Drake. I don't think these guys ever really fucked with him. And I think he probably like, yo, bro, okay, I kind of fuck with both of y'all, but damn, y'all don't really love me over here at all. I think the game kind of knows. But I think he always wanted to talk publicly positive about Kendrick, hoping it would come back around. It's just that I'm looking at it like, dog, you got the blunt roller calling you a liar, bro. Like, yo, come on, Game. Like, yo, Game, they don't have no respect for you. It's like, put it like this. It's like Lil Baby. It's like me thinking Lil Baby got respect for me, and then his weed roller is swinging on me. Bro, like, at some point, you got to realize the nigga don't fuck with you. He don't fuck with you, bro. So that's why I'm looking at, like, a dude who's from the street, the game, and I'm like, bro, what do you think being in Kendrick's good graces is going to get for you? Look at all the niggas at the pop out. Collectively, they sold 40,000 records, all of them. Just lump them all together. There's no movement from the pop out. At everybody who went to the pop out, 40,000 records. Not one feature from Kendrick. We want to talk about it? No, exactly. So, my thing is, it crosses the line when the blunt roller for the man you have so much respect for is they're calling you liars. They're calling you out your name.
God damn. Let me know. You know me. Let me know. I'm Big Game still, you, man. Big Game James, too. Nigga, can you call me Big Game James? This is what's going on here, bro. Niggas just want to know if you love me still, man. Do you consider me? Because when Not Like Us drop, why the fuck is Game over there pissed off? Because Dre whispered, psst, I see dead people. Now,
okay. Now, this is something that on face value, I agree with TDE Keemstar. That seems like the game is reaching, but that comes from a place of insecurity. It comes from a place of insecurity by not knowing where your relationship is with that person. That person won't give you a conversation. So you think that there's some animosity there, or you know there's some animosity there, but you don't know how far it will be taken. Will he try to sneak diss you on a record? He's already going at Drake, but you are kind of like, you know, Drake is kind of like your dude. I don't know if you guys remember 2024, during that time, before even the game dropped this song to Rick Ross, the game did say some things on social media, not against Kendrick, but he did say some things that was basically saying, fuck y'all niggas who are trying to team up. Basically saying, let them two dudes squabble, And I don't respect y'all bitch ass dudes who y'all are only trying to piggyback and jump this guy. So he was already verbally saying some stuff, and I could imagine Kendrick was like, yo, pussy nigga, are you trying to be over there? Like, you from LA, that's all they do, jump niggas. What the hell? Like, Kendrick was probably looking at him like, what the fuck? What the hell? Anyway, let's keep it going.
See, once again, I don't know how that's a diss, but I don't know the origin stories of Dre even saying that shit. So he said it on One Blood, and he said it on the other song that Stat did with Game. He said it on another song. You feel me? So maybe when they created those songs, Drake told him then, hey, when I say this shit right here, when I say this, I see dead people in front of somebody's shit, I'm gonna be dissing your ass. Unless he told that nigga, hey, I'll never say this on front of nobody else's shit again. If you hear me say this on somebody else's shit, just know this is to you. Why the fuck would that be the, like, I see dead people. And like I said, some things be above my pay grade, my understanding, my artistry, all that shit. Game could be right. All I'm saying is, why was his ass 6'5", 280, whatever he is, tiny size, Tiny Johnson, that is, 6'5", 275 out here going on podcasts lying about the fucking way he felt. Nigga, you felt the way and your actions showed that, and everybody else is trying to tell you, bro, you look like you look like you wish Dot lost this shit. You look like you wish Dot lost this shit so you can get the feature from Drake, and then we wouldn't see you right here going on stage with YG tomorrow, playing with your goddamn whole career. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't looking good. This shit ain't looking good, man. I'm gonna go back to his best friend, Stat Quo, who ain't seen him since the Will I Am thing, but that don't matter, because it's not about the last time you seen him. It's the last time you heard me, brother. And his brother, Stat Quo, his conscience, the one that gets all the details, the one that brings it right back to the podcast and give it to, you know, up-and-coming creators like myself who just love me some good detail. I couldn't believe I heard this shit last night. It ain't no way Stat Quo gave us what everybody been thinking. I almost called Nori and EFN from Drink Champs. I almost called Backfield Podcast. I almost called Joe and the guys. You know, Ice, that's my dog. I almost called all these motherfuckers to just simply say, that nigga lied. That nigga being like, he's a liar. Who? Game. That nigga's a big ass liar at that. Stat.
Wow.
I almost called Nori. Liar. Who? Game. That nigga's a big ass liar at that. Stat said it. Go back to Stat, what Stat said. I'm only going with Stat said from now on.
Wow.
And he's like, you the reason that I just me and this man be having. This is real shit. On that conversation, I said, dog, these niggas fuck with you. I mean, that one shit where he was talking about Big Sean and all that shit.
I put me another little, 1,500, 2 racks. Hey, Mac, I'm right back with us. Let's go get our X5s, nigga.
Okay. Now, this guy also been giving us some info. He basically called the game a groupie. Listen.
Content. Oh, so I'm telling him, tell somebody steal this narrative.
So TDE seeding the narrative that the game is a washed up loser who's a groupie. Now, that's not me. And I know the game because the game kind of reminds me of a nigga that I think if he's going to respond to this, he's going to say, fuck you, Ak. And he knows I have love for him. The real issue here is that they're down to disrespect you while you got to keep it cute. That's the problem. You got to keep it cute because they might kick you off the whole West Coast. You know Kendrick run the whole West Coast. You can't go against that. You can't do that shit. So I know usually when a rapper can't go to another rapper, they blame the media nigga. Nah, fuck Ak. He trying to stir shit up. I'm going off y'all words.
I don't know if nobody came with this narrative.
Look, they're putting out narratives. Here's this narrative right here. Now, let me make this so y'all can see it. Here's this narrative, chat. They basically act like this nigga did some wedding crasher shit and popped up on stage like Lil Mama when Kendrick was getting like the crown to LA. Listen to this.
My boy ain't appreciate that, and he was popping up on Dr. Dre now. That's how I see it. He trying to pop up. Trying to get a couple records clear, trying to see what's up. Because this also what Stat Quo said too.
So by the way, let me try to, add some context. The game drops his debut album in 2005. By the way, he was shelved for like 2 or 3 years before because he was working with Dr. Dre. They couldn't find the proper mix of songs that they could roll out for a debut album. 50 Cent comes in. It's classic, documentary, classic album. Okay. In between that album and the next album, because of his fallout with 50 Cent, Dr. Dre also falls back. They kind of look at the game as like a little snaky type of figure. On 50 Cent's side, we see the game kind of working with Fat Joe and Jada Kiss, or not being, he wasn't down with dissing him at that point because 50 didn't fuck with Ja Rule. Anybody around Ja Rule he was beefing with, included Fat Joe and Jadakiss, who were on the song from New York, okay? So when Game was not openly down to diss the affiliates of Ja Rule, basically 50 was like, I ain't with this. Also, people felt like, he thought it was bigger than the program. He got kicked out of G Unit. The rest is history. Shit separates. The Game actually gets put off G Unit. In Aftermath, he actually gets moved to Interscope Geffen. Geffen's another, it was a sub-label of Interscope. A lot of things that happen behind the scenes, okay? He drops his follow-up album 2 years later. Was it 2 or 3 years? It might be 3 years later. 2 years later, actually. Actually, a year later. Doctor's Advocate. Love that album, but the album is heavily based on, it was supposed to be a bunch of Dre beats. He had no Dre beats. He had shout out to, I forgot the producers who actually did a good job curating that album. But the context of the album was him crying. And respectfully, I'm not saying crying to put him down, because my favorite rappers be crying. I'm saying he was very vulnerable and introspective about how he felt he lost a mentor. Okay, now around that time and going into the next couple years, Dr. Dre is only seen with one artist. And he's seen with this one artist in the studio, and it's Kendrick Lamar. And he's giving this guy a blanket cosign, damn near saying this is gonna be the guy. And the Game seems like he's kind of out the picture. The Game career kind of flusters a bit. He tries to find, hits wherever he could. He tries to do some formulas of let's get, was it Keisha Cole or whoever, let's get her on the hook and let's try to make some songs. And eventually, by the time Kendrick comes out, his career is kind of it's not that popping anymore. Drake is one of the artists that gives him one of the last hits that he got. That's 2014, 2015. Anyway, it appears that TDE Keemstar right here is saying that the issues that started may have started even way before Drake got brought to Compton in 2014. These issues may have started before the 2010s, or maybe around the 2010s, when maybe Game gets a little bit jealous that the person who he wanted acceptance from, Dr. Dre, clearly fucks with another artist, Kendrick. That's what he's hinting to. That's me reading between the lines. Maybe my take is wrong, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory if you kind of know the story. Because if he's saying Game kept popping up on Dr. Dre, it feels like he's popping up uninvited. How would they know he's popping up on Dr. Dre? Because Dr. Dre is with Kendrick. By the way, Kendrick was also working with Dr. Dre on them kind of making the on Detox. So Detox is the album that never came out, right? Yeah. So remember when Dre was working with all these rappers, they were supposed to be the people helping him write Detox? Kendrick was one of the integral people there.
Trying to get a couple records clear, trying to see what's up.
So he's kind of describing it, the Game. This is before Drake. He's describing the Game as like some hobo. He's popping up to the studio yo, can I get a record clear? Yo, can I get a beat? Yo, can somebody give me a beat? Yo, y'all can let me in? So, ew, right?
Because this also what Stat Quo said too. He said that the Game would have had his career actually, and Stat has some records. Stat has some records for sure. But what's that one record he had? He was outside Chevy. Man, I like that record though for sure. I think it was called like that. But anyways, though. He said Game was outside the studio. Do. All right, nigga. Dre.
See? Once again, painting Game as Ashy Larry. He's like Tyrone Biggins. The fucking crackhead. Hey, y'all got something in there for me? Damn, you're describing a West Coast legend as being some lame-ass nigga beating down the studio door trying to get in. This is the respect they have for the Game. Even if this was true, they're describing him in a lame way. Oh, yeah, when Dot was up in there with Dre, this nigga would just pop up, just beating down the door he trying to get inside. Yo, get out of here, nigga, your time is up. And that's how they're describing the whole relationship.
Come on, nigga, I know you like that freestyle. I know you like this shit. You like this hot shit I'm spitting. He said they wasn't letting him in the studio.
So the Game couldn't even get in the studio. They got him outside. Can't even get inside the club like how Chris Brown said. How you hating from out there? Okay?
Wasn't getting
Yo, listen, the Game just probably spat 360 bars. Yo, 360 bars on Running was good. Well, it was 300 bars on Running, but 360 bars? Oh my God, great song too. He even had 400 bars. That nigga used to just rap to rap, right? And I loved it, especially when he was beefing. But they're saying that basically he was kind of seemed like an annoyance. Like, oh, this guy, like no one wanted him around. And that is another thing about self-awareness. If people could tell this story 16 years later, that they're describing a time that they're saying you were popping up at studios, beating down the door, they didn't want you around. Yo, can I get in there? Yo, you heard that freestyle? They're describing you as an annoying gnat. And at a point, you have to like figure it out to be like, these niggas, even if they do let you in the room at one point, they're tolerating you. They didn't really invite you and they don't really want you around. You got to take the hint. You got to, and also, even more than take the hint, you got to realize who you are. Because the Game, I think his legacy looks odd when it looks like you're begging the next man's. Like, in a sequence of successors of kings of California, for me, the predecessor of Kendrick is Game. With all due respect, I don't think, even YG, I know a lot of people saying he won the verse. YG was never king of California. Like, he never had a reign. Like, that's Kendrick's reign. So it's like, the Game had uncontested reign, but then it was Kendrick after that. So YG doesn't even have a reign of being the king of Cali or the king of the West Coast at all. And my thing is that the preceding king is now being talked about like he was the peasant. That's the funny part about it.
It wasn't coming around. They wasn't fucking with it. They said Dre planned on shelving Game. This was Stat Quo said. Don't even get at me. There's nothing to get at me about. I'm just listening.
So they're describing the fact that they're not fucking with Game.
We just trying to put the little pieces to the truth and the details. That's crazy being there that night. I didn't know it was that legendary and still would be a factor this many years later. Shout out big time in front of the congregation. No, it was a legendary night. For sure. Like, I was in the building too. I'm on that stage too.
Now they're talking about this night where Kendrick gets past this crown.
Go look in the cut. But powerful ass night for real. Like, I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. Dot up there crying and shit.
Right.
That nigga Dot empathed out too. He felt that shit. He felt that shit like, damn. I'm around my big dogs. All my big dogs fucking with it. They feeling this shit. They crowning me, passing the torch. But I don't think everybody was on board.
So they're saying that they believe the Game was jealous.
Just showed up.
Once again, they're claiming he wasn't invited. He just showed up. They said the Game is the nigga. He just show up. He don't wait for invites. He did kind of confirm that. He said, well, I don't need an invite to the pop out. If I wanted to, I would just show up. And I think we all kind of listened to that and said, Game, I think everybody else got invited, gang. I don't think Russell Westbrook just showed up to Crip Walk with DeRozan. I think they got invited, gang. So you're the only one that don't care about the invite. You just pop up. But the TDE dudes are explaining that they think the Game is like annoying because he keeps popping up. Imagine they hate the nigga that keep popping up and exactly why they glad that he ain't show up to the pop out. Hilarious.
Would have looked crazy. And then you got to think about it too, though. So, right, like, this is Stats words again. I'm acting like due to chilling with Moni. I'm just taking all Stat shit and adding it to my shit.
Okay.
He didn't know that Kendrick felt the way about that. He reiterated it, but now he said in retrospect he could see and understand it. But guess what? This is the bomb. This is one of the bombshells I'm going to drop here today. But he said when Kendrick did Power, and this is what he said. When Kendrick did Power, and they knew that 50 Cent.
Okay. Now, I see some people saying next topic. Listen, I know it's some West Coast fuckery. They're never usually this entertaining, so we got to drag it for as much as we can. Anyway, I will say this. So we do have an update. The game who's been solid in all this, you know, Wack came on here. We had Stackquo on here too. But Wack downplayed it. Okay? Wack downplayed the whole thing. And the game today made a response to a video made by Flacco. So Flacco talked about this topic on his channel. And Flacco kind of had some of the same things to say about it like me, except he wasn't saying that the game looks kind of like, you know, down bad. That's my opinion. He was saying, yo, Kendrick, yo, why are you moving like that? That's kind of weird and odd. And the game responded to this video by saying, at least one nigga gets it. Fans and internet goofies will never get it. These niggas aren't who you think they are. One day, I'm going to pull the curtain down so you could see every clown in their circus. Now, this seems like the first time he's actually, you know, coming to terms that TDE don't like him, and he's threatening to kind of expose all of this stuff now. Okay? He's saying Flacco got it. And he's saying other people don't get it. And he says, these niggas aren't who you think they are. Now, let's hear what Flacco says that he's agreeing with.
Kendrick Lamar had a relationship with the game when the game was somebody that he needed. When the game was showing love to Kendrick, putting his arms around him, taking him on tour, right? Like doing things that big. Yo, if the game is helping usher you into the industry and showing you mad love when he didn't need to, I feel like the least you owe him is hey, bro, I don't rock with you because of this. But I ain't trying to hear the decoration for that goofy stuff, bro. Oh, nah, he's just mysterious. He just, nah, man, he just be disappearing. Dot is like Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ be gone for 2,000 years, he ain't come back yet. That's how Dot is, Dot imitates Jesus Christ. Man, hey, bro, y'all cannot, hey, Stat, you usually fair, bro. You can't decorate this goof.
Keep in mind, the game commented under this video, which a reasonable person could say he agrees with the sentiments being displayed or being talked about or being communicated. And if we look at his comment seems to suggest the same. So we're not, because you're going to have these guys, they're going to be like, oh no, Ak is, creating some. No. This is real.
Ish. I watched about 4 clips today of Stat. He sounds like a fair guy. You can't decorate. This is goofy stuff. You can't hop on the phone. Hey, bro, this is why I don't. Hey, bro, this is why I don't rock with you.
Hey, word on the streets. Kendrick got the old school phone. You remember the phone that you got minutes on? Like when you got like 150 minutes, you can't waste your minutes. He can't waste his minutes being on the phone with no goddamn game. Okay? He don't got that unlimited data plan. All right? He can't get on the phone with this nigga for 5 minutes and explain to him like, I don't fuck with you. All he gotta do is send that nigga a Big Sean song. I don't fuck with you. Pussy nigga, I don't really, that's what you gotta do.
Especially if y'all had a relationship and a rapport. I don't agree with that goofy stuff, bro, at all. That's just goofy and weird. And like, I'm sorry. Nah, y'all can't decorate that, bro. So after this story apparently went viral, they were live. And while they were live having a conversation, Top Dog tapped in, right? Top Dog is obviously, the CEO, owner of TDE, is literally Top Dog Entertainment, right? So Top Dog called in, and Top Dog called in and finally gave the world the real reason Kendrick Lamar don't rock with the game or stop speaking to the game. The reason that they should have probably gave the game, I don't know, a decade ago that they didn't. So they kind of kept the mystery, kept it in the air, kept the game thinking, wait, am I crazy? Am I tripping? Am I not? And they told the world before they told the game, which I just thought is just like, come on, bro. So here is the reason, according to Top Dog, why Kendrick Lamar don't like the game and why he stopped speaking to him.
All was about Top was calling me to tell me that when these clips come out, we got to tell the whole. He said, I know you telling the whole story, but you got to tell, it got to be in the clip of the whole story, because he want everybody to understand Dot didn't just stop talking to him for no reason. After that video that dude shot in Compton, that changed everything.
The 100 video.
The 100 video. And I had spoke about that and told. Remember I said that I told Wack and Game about that. And top thing is like, hey, that gotta be it. It don't need to be perceived that Dot just stopped talking to Kendrick out of nowhere. I mean, Kendrick stopped talking to Game out of nowhere.
Right.
That was the thing that, you know what I'm saying, that did it. And he reminded me that some of the younger guys, when they shot that J-Rock video, they went over to Game's house to do that part. And Game had when he put that mask on, he said that the label or somebody said he couldn't show his face. But 2 weeks later, he did a Hurricane Chris video.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
these are the things that Top is reminding me on the phone.
You don't like the Game because the Game did a song with Drake and allowed Drake to come to his hood. So you just run all of Compton now. Game didn't bring Drake to your block. Game didn't bring Drake to your hood. Game brought Drake to his hood with his friends and his homies. So now you don't like Game because he... Yo, wait, hold on. Yo, when was that song, bruh? Hold on, man. Yo, when did Game drop 100? When did the Game... It has to be like
2014.
a decade ago.
Yeah, it was.
It has to be... Bruh. 100 dropped in 2015. That's how long Kendrick Lamar been hating on Drake. Kendrick Lamar been hating on Drake for 11 years. He got mad at the Game because the Game had Drake in Compton, as if he runs all of Compton, and he kept that grudge with him for 11 years. Now do you see how sick and upset?
By the way, Ranger 08, thank you for the 5. It says, love your act, but can't agree. We still haven't seen your Drake interview. What was that? That was a comment in comparison to what? That Kendrick hasn't done anything for artists? I'm media. If I'm a rapper supporting Drake all through this, think about all the rappers who literally that's what Drake's demeanor is. Khaled, I'm not giving you a fucking feature because you weren't standing on my side. Fuck you, nigga. People mad at him with Sexy Red, but he gonna do another song with Sexy Red. You know why? She's always on his side. He gonna do a song with 21 Savage. Matter of fact, he was just on Iceman. Why? And I'm talking about artist to artist. We're not talking about artists and media. Like, these guys don't want to do interviews. Like, even Drake. No one wants to do interviews. It's like an interview exposes. Here's the thing. If you're the only one talking, Yachty went through this. No one said nothing to Uzi. No one said nothing to 21 Savage. No one said nothing to Kodak. They were all in the same freshman class. Yachty doing interviews, people just started hating him. So I do understand Drake not doing an interview, right? Even right now, like, finally the algo is in his favor, right? Like, me and we talked about that. Like, yeah, look, it's in his favor. Like, let's not fuck it up, right? Nobody says that about Dot. Nobody says about Rihanna. Nobody says that about, well, you know, Jay's not really a rapper anymore, but he did do an interview. J. Cole, like, these guys don't really talk. So I don't think media could be like, oh, okay, no, you have to give media something. I do think you should communicate with media, right? But I was speaking about Kendrick and other rappers. Other rappers supported him. They stood on his side. They get nothing. They don't get a retweet. Not even a song. They don't even get a retweet. Throw it up on a story. Nothing. That's the thing, okay? Thank you for the donation, though.
Says Kendrick Lamar was with Drake? Is that normal to you guys? No, do you guys honestly think that's normal? Do you guys think that Drake had like this fiery beef with Kendrick Lamar in 2015? Do you really think that Drake, who at that time was dealing with Meek Mills, trying to expose him for ghostwriting rumors, you really think Drake had this everlasting beef with Kendrick Lamar in 2015? No, Kendrick Lamar was this obsessed hater. You is cutting off.
Wow, it's interesting. So the Game even responding to this. I didn't know. I didn't listen to the whole Flocka clip before I posted it. I didn't know he got into the part of saying that Kendrick's a hater. The Game responding to this. I don't know if he's co-signing that part. I do think he's co-signing the other part.
A dude who showed love to you early. You cutting off a dude who you was really cool with early 2015 because he did a song with Drake. Now do you understand the obsessed weirdo stuff that we be talking about? Nobody can mask that up. That is goofy. That is beyond goofy. What does that man bringing Drake to Compton, to his hood, have to do with you and him? He ain't diss you. He ain't do nothing to you. Bro, that's just, man. Hey, bro, y'all got to understand, bro. Y'all got to stop like decorating and master. Bro, goofy stuff is goofy stuff, man. Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
I can't tell you what.
Okay. So that is the latest update. Okay. The game appears to have now responded. And it will be interesting to see where this goes. I don't expect Kendrick to give him that phone call at all or to speak on this, but we'll see the TDE guys probably start being a little bit more vocal in probably letting it be known what's really been going on with the game and them, either behind the scenes or other things that we don't know, okay? It's, still, I don't think the game is going to come out being the one with the sympathy that people be like, oh, no, bro, you deserve the call. I think people are going to be like, bro, get out your feelings, man. Kendrick does what he does, So we'll see. All right. Okay.